Hello, my name is Joanna and I'm a beginner knitter. I started knitting quite seriously earlier in February or March this year, and I fell completely in love with it. And in general with crafting, I'm very interested in it in general, and I'm loving all of the craft content and specifically knitting content on YouTube. So I've been secretly dreaming of creating something myself with it, and so here we are. I'm gonna dive right in. I think compared to most of the podcaster on the knitting space, they are all quite advanced, and so I didn't really see anyone that was really starting and learning a lot. So yeah, I hope it's interesting. I don't know, we'll see. But before this year, I had barely done anything. I've learned how to how to knit as a little girl with my grandma, but never really picked up on it too much until I think 5 or so years ago, where I just made a garter stitch scarf for one of my best friends, and it took me like a year to do the scarf. And then again 2-3 years ago, I wanted to start again. I was very inspired by Kutovakika, and so I followed one of her tutorials to make a tablecloth in garter stitch with this little stripe. So of course I made one, and I don't know why it ended up being super small, and then honestly I don't know why. Probably just a question of what yarn I used, and I made a couple more. This is the wrong side. A couple more that I honestly like. They are in my kitchen, mostly as, where are they? Mostly as decoration, because I really like that look. And yeah, at that point I didn't know how to purl or anything. I knew how to cast on, how to knit, how to change color, and how to cast off, and that was all. And so after that I just made a square in stockinette stitch just to learn how to purl. I think it's also Kutovakika that did a tutorial showing how to purl. I'm not so sure anymore, but yeah, so that's how I ended up with another kitchen cloth, because yeah, I just needed to learn. So yeah, that's basically all I made in my entire life before this year, before I started like knitting a bit more seriously and more often. And so this year I started with, again, like some training. I didn't feel like starting with a finished product or anything, so I just picked up my some of my grandma's needles while I was at her place, some of her leftover yarn, this beautiful green, I really love it, and she taught me how to do ribbing, which I didn't know. Again, I knew how to knit and how to purl, and so I used this entire square, like the rest of the yarn, just to train on ribbing. So I did like 1-1, and 2-2, and then I think that's 3-3. And unfortunately my grandma passed away this year, and this is basically the last thing she taught me. And so this little square has a very I don't know, it's very, even though it's just a square of training, it's very sentimental value. So I think I'm gonna frame it, and put a picture of my grandma in the middle. I think it would be very nice. And yeah, so that's how I started. After that, I just wanted to learn more and more about the different techniques so I could start making things. So I really wanted to learn how to do the increase and decreases. So I asked my other grandma how to do it, and so I just trained. I didn't want to do nothing, so I tried to make a bandana, like a triangle, and of course at first I frogged what I did like a couple times because it didn't work really, but I ended up with this one. This is from again leftover yarn that I got from at my grandma's place when we were spending a lot of time there while she was sick. So this beautiful bright orange. It's not the best for my complexion, I think, but I still love the color, so it's not a big deal. And yeah, I think this is the third or fourth iteration where I was trying to make a bandana. And yeah, so I kind of just made a few rows of like, I don't remember how many, but maybe eight stitch, and with a I-cord on each side. And then some increase, I don't remember how often now, but I added this nice little stitch pattern. I'm hoping it's visible to give a bit more interest. I got this from this book. It's all in French, but I'm sure there's many books like similar in every languages, which gives a lot of just different stitch pattern. And yeah, I like it because it's quite subtle but still visible. The only thing is, even though I added the I-cord edge so it wouldn't roll too much, but it still rolls. So I don't know, I've blocked it now. Maybe I didn't block it well because, you know, it's not something I'm used to. I don't really know how to do it properly. I just left it for like half an hour in water and then placed it on the mat. But well, it still rolls. So yeah, it's honestly very cute now with my loose hair. Maybe it's not the best, I don't see, but something like this, honestly I like it. I made it quite for summer. We are in the middle of summer now, and I haven't put the button. I have to admit, I want to sew a button here. I made a little buttonhole. And for a first project that I've made just by myself, I think it is, I'm very proud of it. Even though it, you know, like this, it looks like, I don't know, more like, I don't know, just a string. But yeah, if I find a way for it not to roll that much, it would be nice. And yeah, I think that's enough for just this bandana. Okay. At that point, I was really eager to start about the pattern. I really wanted to make something, you know, like having a finished object and starting to like a garment and starting wearing it. I was way too, I think, intimidated by t-shirts or even more like sweaters, cardigan and so on. So I settled on the Sophie scarf by Petite. I think it's probably the most famous beginner pattern. If I was to do this again today, I would probably to go for another one, but I'm happy with it. It's very easy pattern to follow. It goes fast, like it's fine. I made it first with the same orange yarn because I wanted to try before like buying some more precious yarn for it and so on. This yarn I know nothing about. I didn't know anything about the gauge. It's turned out to be quite loose, so I probably the yarn was not the best. I don't know. And I'm very glad I made the test first with this because I didn't understand the I-cord at that point. And so, I don't know, basically instead of slipping the stitch, I was purling them. So the I-cord like unravels. But to be fair, it still looks fine. I think I didn't realize until like I came and reread the pattern to make the second one that I realized I made a mistake for this first. And yeah, it's quite loose. Again, I think like it's probably not very warm because each stitch is quite loose, but I like it. And once I was done with my test, I went with the second one. I had bought 2 balls of the Cardiff cashmere, which is the one used in the pattern. I am again absolute beginner, so I didn't know how to I didn't know how to choose an alternative yarn. I didn't know anything. I mean, to be fair, I don't know much today, all of the different weights and the plies and so on, and yardage. It's not something I'm very familiar with, so I felt more comfortable going with the yarn in the pattern. And this color, I don't know, it's one of the most beautiful color I've ever seen. Again, not really in my color palette, I am aware. If that's something that interests you in terms of color season, I'm a soft summer, I think, if I remember correctly. So more like muted, light, and more cool color, which this is definitely not either of those things. So it's probably the opposite of what is my, a color that fits me well. But again, for such a beautiful color, I don't care. It's too beautiful. It's very soft as well. I didn't realize that this one wasn't until I have this product, because it felt like it is quite soft as well, but this one, it's a different level. I really like the texture of this. The weird part of it is I needed the small one because there's 2 sizes in the pattern, and I needed the small size for the test and the big size for the real one, and they end up being almost the same size. I don't know if I'll be able to show, but there's like really not a lot of difference. And before blocking it, because I think I procrastinated for like 3 months to block anything because I didn't have the mat and so on, they were the exact same size. So this one stretched out a lot in blocking, which now makes it a bit longer, which I appreciate. Yeah, I think that's all for the Sophie scarf for now. My next finished product, I think, is this. Fast forward a couple months, I had a very busy beginning of the year, but anyway, once I was done with these, I felt ready to start with a garment, and it was already the middle of the spring, or going into summer, so I wanted to make some summer knits, and I purchased the sole top pattern by Rows Knitwear, and I used this, I think I have some other balls here, this gray acrylic from my grandma. Again, after she passed, I just took those leftovers. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I think there's like 2 here. So probably 9 or 10 balls of those. It's like very cheap yarn from this like a dollar store. So it's less than $1 the ball. So it's not very good quality. It's 100% acrylic. But I'm a beginner. I need to learn. I need to make mistakes. So I think it's a good yarn for that. So yeah, I made that top from this yarn, and I used circular needles that I bought in, I think, 4.5 millimeters. It was a very nice project. The only thing is it's bottom to top, from the bottom to top, and in the beginning you work in a round, and the first time I did it, it was my first time doing anything in the round, and so I twisted. Like I went, I don't know, maybe like 5 centimeters, and I realized that it was all twisted and I couldn't find a way to untwist it. I mean, so I don't know if there is, but everything I was reading online was you have to undo everything and start over. And one of the advice there was to start straight, and then after a while coming in the round, so that once you have some centimeters, you're less likely to actually twist. So that's what I did, and indeed It worked pretty well, and sewing it at the end, I don't even remember what side I did. I think here. But honestly, it's pretty invisible, so now I think I would do that always to be sure that I don't twist, because it was very frustrating to be like, there's like 180 or something, I don't remember, but stitch in the beginning, and frogging everything was very frustrating. So yeah, after that it was a lot of stockinette stitch, which is quite pleasant. I don't know if that's a controversial concept, but I quite like just not having to count anything and just like knit away. And it was super fun when you arrive at the armholes, because you do like those decrease on one side and you abandon, like you leave the rest for a while, which again I really like. It becomes very fast suddenly and it shapes up. This was quite fun. And with the folded cast on, first time I was doing it, but with the videos it follows very easily. The only part I didn't like is the sleeve. I mean, it's not a sleeve, but the strap. I don't think I did necessarily a very good job, because like you have to pick up stitch, if I understand correctly. So you pick up the stitches, and I don't think it looks very neat. It doesn't really explain how often you should do it. So then I was a bit like, I don't know. I tried, like they did tell you how many stitches you have to pick, but I don't know how. Like what does that mean compared to the number of stitches you have here? Anyway, it looks fine. I think it's just not as, you know, you're not as guided as a beginner would need to be, or as I needed to be as a beginner. And then the only part I really didn't like is this. It's 6.5 centimeters of purling, and I don't know. I don't think this is very controversial. I find purling way more tedious than knitting. And so here it was like just purling non-stop for a while before you can fold. And yeah, this part I wasn't a big fan, and it felt very long. Like comparatively, the number of stitch is very little in the strap, but it felt like it was the longest part. Anyway, I'm still very happy with the results. It's, I mean, obviously the material is not very suitable for summer because it's acrylic, it's very warm. That said, a few weeks ago I've worn it a few times. I haven't washed it yet. I need to, but I'm a bit scared of putting it in the dryer, in the washing machine, and it like destroying the t-shirt or the tee. It's not a tee, the top. So I'm a bit procrastinating on washing it. It's living in my laundry basket for now because yeah, I've worn it in summer and it's very warm, so it gets quite sweaty easily. I think it will be perfect in autumn. I live in the south of France, where autumns and spring are pretty warm, and so I think that would be a very good top at that point. And I really enjoyed wearing it going out of the water on the evening at the beach, because there was a bit of wind and it got a little bit chilly, and that was just so nice. So I'm sure I will love it in autumn and spring. Summer a little bit less, it's just too warm here. Or if I go like somewhere north in the summer, that would be useful. Yeah, but I'm very proud. First proper garment that is not an accessory. So yeah, I can't wait to start something else. I finished it like a few weeks ago now, but I've been working away on some other things. One thing is, you see, I will be using this yarn mostly while I have it, and when I start new things that I've never done before, I feel like there's no pressure with this yarn. And I've made this, I need to weave in that end. I made this headband. It's not the first headband I made, actually. I realized I forgot to mention. I made a headband that I gifted to one of my cousins in this green color. I'll try to find a photo, but it's basically ribbed headband with this same detail as here, and it was a bit too thin, unfortunately, but the main thing is it was one layer. And here this is from a pattern, I'll put the name, I don't remember here, but a free pattern available on Ravelry, and it's basically a tube, so it has this double layer, and I realized that I really loved working in this tube, and it's with those double-edged needles, which are used, I guess, mostly to make socks, and I love it. I can't wait to make socks. It was just fun. It's really like, because we use switch needles so often, it's very entertaining, I think. And there's this little like color work, which is pretty cute. This is gonna be a gift for my godmother, and yeah, it's very cute. It's gonna be very warm. She has short hair, and in the winter she goes to they have a house in the center of France where it gets quite cold, so I think it's gonna be very good for her. And yeah, it's the yarn from her mother also, which I hope she'll appreciate. Yeah, and I really love making this. I didn't mention, but I dropped everything else while I was doing this because I just loved it so much. I think I started it on a Friday, I think last Friday, and finished it on Tuesday. So very quick and very fun, and yeah, I'm very happy with this one. I think I might make some others also with different color work. And now something I finished today that I started before the headband but put on pause because this one is very brain heavy, I want to say. It's not very mindless. It's the first time I'm trying cable knits, and I have again, it's coming from this book, and I think you can see it. It's even the one in the on the cover, and I've just done the exact same thing. So here I've repeated the same pattern, tried to make the same thing. Basically, I had this yarn that I bought when I was doing an internship in New Zealand in 2017. I didn't need it. I didn't do any kind of fiber art or crafts at the time, but in New Zealand there's 5 times more sheep than people, and so I thought it would be like very special to bring as a souvenir, to bring some yarn. I thought it would be very special to bring some yarn back, and so I bought 2 bowls. One of this very rustic, very I don't know. I don't even remember what type of wool it is, but it's like very rustic wool. And I bought also this baby merino. Yeah, it's DK. This one I know, DK 8-ply yarn, but just 1 bowl of each, just as a souvenir. And they've been sitting in my cupboard for, 7 years now? Sounds crazy. And I just, I knew that one day I would do something out of it, but I didn't know that you don't do much with 1 bowl. So when I found them again this year, now that I am knitting, I was like, okay, I need to do something special with them. And I didn't want to do like, I don't know, like a hat or socks, because that's something then that still lives in your cupboard. And I really wanted to learn how to do cables. And so that kind of came to me, like having some like wall art with wool that means a lot, like that comes from a like very good part of the life, like like a yarn that holds a lot of memory. I think that's very special. So I'm so happy with the decision I've made of using that wool for something that I will be able to see every day. And I had this like hanger that I thought I bought for like my curtains, but I bought it online, and obviously I made a mistake in the size. So I had it for like 2-3 years and not knowing what to do with it, and thinking, you know, one day I'll find a purpose. So I kept it for all that while, and now it has. So I don't know yet where I'm gonna hang this, but I can't wait to hang it. One thing I didn't mention is, so I followed the pattern until I had not a lot of yarn left, and then I just made stockinette and did a folded cast on at the end to be able to pass the hanger. So pretty simple, I guess. And yeah, I finished it this morning, so of course it's not blocked or anything. I think it would make sense to block it because I think the cable makes it like shrink a lot. So I don't really want this like I would like it to be really rectangle. So I think I'm gonna try blocking it, but this yarn is so precious to me that I'm a bit afraid of running it. So yeah, I might procrastinate a little bit before I do block it. But yeah, I'm honestly so proud. And one thing is, for the majority of it, I was blindly following the pattern. Really blindly. I didn't try to understand what was going on fully. And towards the end, it kind of clicked of like how the cables are working and like what does it mean to like if you put it in front, in the back. And I think there's some things that are not great in this pattern because some of the part just don't look very good, and I managed to kind of fix it at the end. And so I'm so happy. Like I think I can say that I understand cables in a modest way. I'm not saying I would be able to do anything, but I feel a bit more comfortable in starting something else with cables now. Yeah, basically that's all. Yeah, that's my latest finished project, and I can't wait to have it on my walls. It's just too cute. Yeah. Now, in terms of whips, for the work in progress, I don't have many. There's 2 little things that have started back in April, I think. And they are some more headbands. This one is again way too small or too thin, but I followed from the same book some pattern like and it's called wedding pattern or marriage pattern, which I got married this year, so it felt super fitting. So I wanted to make some for, you know, like the witness or something. I wasn't sure, but I'm just a bit like I don't know what to do now because they're a bit boring like this. So I wanted to add some borders or edge, but I haven't been so inspired. Originally I dropped them because they weren't blocked, and so when I tried adding some border with like a crochet, nothing, like it was shrinking a lot, and so it became too small and it just made it look weird. So I decided to like put it on hold until I blocked them, and once they are blocked, so they are stretched out, then I could maybe do the border. I haven't done that yet, so I still hope to make something out of it with a cute border, maybe in a contrasting color, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that just yet. So yeah, those are sitting in my whips, and I think they are gonna sit there a little bit longer until I get inspired. And yes, the last knitting whip I have is another Sophie scarf, one that I've done a bit as I wanted a brain-free kind of project while I was working on the cables, because, you know, like when I go to bed or watch a movie, I find it difficult to focus only on the, like, you know, focus on the cable while, you know, being on the bus or something. So I wanted something I could do. Just turns out that I'm not that good with it, because you still need to know where you are, because every certain number of rows you have to increase or decrease, and so it's not as mindless as I wished it was. but still. So I ended up kind of winging it, and you know, obviously not very straight, which otherwise would be, but you know, it's fine using the same old gray acrylic that I have 1,000 balls of. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make it a bit bigger than the other two, just to have it as a bit like just a bit bigger. I think the pattern, like the pattern calls for a certain number of rows, but nothing prevents you from just doing more. Yeah, so yeah, that's my ongoing knitting whip, and I'm gonna cast some things on very soon, I think. Outside of knitting, because I love different kind of crafting. Knitting is my current obsession, but I really want to learn properly how to crochet as well. And I have this these little granny square I had made some time ago in those like you know, all of the different combination of white, pink and red, and I haven't done anything with them. It's been like 6 months or so. I wanted to make a little like makeup bag originally, like something like this, and but I didn't think that granny square are just so holey, like full of holes. Maybe the way I'm making them as well, like I'm definitely not a pro. I bought this little, I don't know if it's visible, I bought this little square thing to be able to block the granny squares, and now they are all pretty much the same size, but I still haven't done anything with them. So I think I'm gonna try and do a bandana. I found a nice online a free pattern on Ravelry. Oh my god, it's so uneven. So yeah, I'm gonna give a go at trying at doing this bandana with this, and we'll see. If it looks cute, I might give it as a gift to someone. If it's not conclusive, then I'll just undo it and we'll see. But yeah, I would like to incorporate more crochet as well. It's just I'm less, I know less by now. Like I've been so into knitting that I feel like I've learned a lot in the past six months, since February. And now I feel like crochet is a bit of a mystery in comparison. But I really like the like movement of crochet, so yeah, I really want to learn more. We'll see. This is my current whip of a bandana, and we'll see if I get to do anything more. And yeah, I think we are quite close to the end. The last thing, I don't know if it counts as, I mean, it's a craft, it's not really fiber craft, but it still works, is I started to do some bead embroidery, and I have this old what is it called? I have this old shirt that I kept from my grandma's wardrobe. It's quite big and a bit plain, and I realized that I don't really wear it, so I want to maybe try to do some embroidery on it to see if I can like make it a bit more exciting and make me wear it a bit more. So I'm trying to, it's the first ever thing I'm ever like putting embroidery on, so I'm expecting the result not to be great, but I'm trying to make a little few olives and a stick, you know, like kind of on a martini or something. So we'll see. I don't really know what I'm doing, and I don't know if the thread, I don't know if the thread I'm using is proper, so I feel less confident with this. But honestly, if it works, I think it could be such a nice way of customizing clothes. Embroidery in general is something I want to try. I haven't yet, but I love all of the clothes that are embroidered, like on cardigan and so on as well. So yeah, let's see how it goes. And I think that's really all with my whips. I don't have that much at the moment. I mean, to be fair, I finished something this morning, so I'm probably will cast on something very soon. I actually bought some yarn yesterday because I'm getting a bit tired of doing things with just this gray. Also, it's not very summery color, and I don't want to make another t-shirt in this exact same color in a material that I won't be able to wear in summer. So I did buy some yarn yesterday for 2 projects that I have in mind. The first one is, it's a sleeveless crew neck. I'll put the name of the pattern and the designer on the screen, but it's, oh my god, it's so beautiful. And I bought this linen and cotton blend in this like nice off-white color. I think it's gonna be so beautiful. I really can't wait to start this. I have 6 balls of this, and then another, I think it's the same yarn brand, it's BC Garn. I don't know much about it, about yarn in general yet. In the, I guess the line here is Alino. I don't know. I guess linen and cotton, but I don't know. And I have also this full cotton one in the BC Garn again, but in the line Alba, I guess. So it's full cotton organic textile, and in the color, this very nice, I don't know, old pink color, which I find very pretty. I'm not sure it's really in my color, but it's not bad, honestly, because it will be muted light. I think both of those are not bad. And this one I want to make, I think it's also called sole top or top sole. So same name as the other one I made, but different. It's very different. It's a kind of a vest with little bows or strings to tie it in the front. Again, I'll put it in the screen because I don't remember exactly the name, but in this color I think it's gonna be so nice. So I'll probably start one of them soon. The thing is, I bought those because I'm going for a month and a half to India. My husband is Indian and we are gonna get married there this August, so next month. And I want to have enough to be able to knit throughout that month. So I don't want to get, like, you know, start and empty my, like, you know, traveling stash, because 1.5 months I don't know how much I'll have time to knit, but I don't want to be, you know, running out. So we'll see. There's another thing I want, another thing I would want to try, and it's this. This is a vintage vintage top that I got from my mother. She was wearing it for many years, and I've had this one for I think 10 years or so, and it's just so nice. I love the fit of it. I love everything about it. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of is the color. It's very, very bright, and so I will try and reproduce it. I don't know if I'm being way too ambitious, because it's fully I don't know if you can see, probably not, but it's built in panels, and so it's like sewed on the side. Yeah, I'll have to figure out how to make, but I would like to try making it in a round, and then I don't know yet how I'll make it work, but I'm really looking forward to try and maybe have this, because it just looks too nice, and maybe have this in 2 or 3 different colors. That would be just so fun. If I actually do it, I probably would try to document the process. We'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. It was very fun. I don't know about the frequency, to be honest, because I don't have that much time to, you know, knit or craft in general. So I'm probably assuming maybe 1 episode or podcast episode every 2 months would make sense, or maybe once each for each season. We'll see, but I hope you liked it, and yeah, I mean, have a good day and see you soon, and happy crafting.